Yeah, really not long to go now until Scotland kick off their Euros campaign against the Czech Republic. They will move to their training camp in Middlesbrough this evening. But first, let's go live to Keith Downey, who is with a former Scotland manager. Very good afternoon to you, Keith.
Yeah, good afternoon. Thank you very much and welcome to the Ayrshire coast of Prestwick as everyone gets geared up for Scotland returning to a major tournament. You say we're nearly there, just 5 days to go for Scotland. It's been 23 long years in the waiting. And the legendary man who was in charge back then 23 years ago when Scotland were back at a major championships was of course Craig Brown, who joins me here today. Craig, thanks very much for your time. After 23 long years, you were of course in charge. Did you ever think this day would come?
Well, I didn't at all think it would come because it was getting longer and longer between the last time we were there in 98. And I was privileged. I went to 86 to the SFA. And in a 12-year period, I was at 5 major tournaments with the Scottish team. I was at 3 World Cups and 2 European Championships. The only 2 Europeans we've been at before this one. So I'm really privileged, but I'm delighted to see Scotland there this year.
Yeah, I guess it's something you wouldn't have wanted to hold on to for much longer.
No.
Are you excited as a proud Scotsman yourself? Are you excited that we're almost there a few days away?
Absolutely. I'm a Tartan Army man and I'm desperate to see Scotland at a tournament. And I think the rest of Europe loves Scotland being involved, because the fans bring colour and excitement to the tournament, and the team, of course, I think will do as well this time.
We obviously qualified through the skin of our teeth, through a side door if you like, but no one's talking about that now, are we?
No, we don't care how we've qualified, we're there. And I think we've got a team that's capable of getting us, the full distance, honestly. When I see other countries that have won it, Portugal won it without winning a group game, and Greece won it, and I remember way back in 92, I think it was, Denmark won it. They came from nowhere. They were brought in late because a team withdrew. So it was possible for someone else, not a big high-profile team, to win it. And I think Scotland have a chance this time.
Is that you tipping Scotland to win the Euros?
Well, when you look at the countries involved, there are some very, very well-known countries and prestigious names in football. But we played the other day against Netherlands, and they're one of the favourites, and they're a popular team. And I genuinely think we can go the distance in this tournament.
Let's think back 23 years to the World Cup in 98, and then of course 25 years to the Euro 96. Can you remember what the feeling was like in the squad and the camp and the build up to it, and just how these players will be feeling now?
Well, I think they've got a responsibility to the country, and they know the responsibility of the Tartan Army and everyone at home. So I think they'll be reminded of that. Steve Clarke's very shrewd, and he will remind them the responsibility. And I know our lads were really determined to do well, and not just for themselves, obviously. There's a personal pride about it, but there's also pride in representing Scotland. And I think if you emphasise that to the players, they realise the commitment that's required. And this team, I'm sure, has that commitment. Yeah,
well, let's talk about the team. I mean, a lot of big names, players playing at the highest level down in the English Premier League. You look at Andy Robertson, Kieran Tierney, John McGinn now. Do you think these are the sort of players that can take Scotland forward, and do you think Scotland are stronger for the experience that these guys have now got? Yeah,
absolutely. I think over the years I feel sorry for successive managers who have just failed to get us to a major tournament. But when you look at the resources they had, they didn't have the quality that Stevie's got, and they weren't playing at the level. Now, I was very privileged. I had 3 in the champion team of England. Blackburn Rovers won the championship, and I had 3 players there. I had Henry at centre back, I had Billy McKinlay, and Billy wasn't a regular in the team, as he tells me, reminds me, and Kevin Gallagher. So 3 from the champion team of England. Now we've got 1 now, of course, last year's champion, Andy Robertson, and of course Tierney playing at Arsenal and McTominay playing top level at Manchester United. That's the level that I think equips them for international football, and I had a whole team equipped at that level.
Yeah, and do you see similarities in the character of the squad? Because we've mentioned some of the players there. They're all playing at the highest level, but they're all very level-headed, grounded individuals, aren't they? Your squad was like that as well?
Yes, indeed. They wouldn't get away with me. Other than that, I can tell you, because the staff would nail them. I had a wonderful staff as well, and I think Steve's got that too. I don't know them all personally. The one I know very well is the doctor, who's, I think, the longest-serving international doctor, Dr. McLean, John McLean. But he's got a great staff. I know of that. The players speak highly of Steve and his staff, and the staff is very influential in getting the players together as a group and getting the camaraderie in the camp successful.
I can't have you here, Craig, without talking about Wembley. The last man, of course, to beat England at Wembley is Scotland manager. Of course, next week, back there again. Can that run be ended? Can Scotland cancel that out and finally put an end to that 22 years?
Well, I think, in my time I was lucky or I was unlucky too, because we played England in the Euro 96, and of course Gary McAllister missed the penalty, and I think Gary's first to admit he feels if he'd scored we would have gone on to win that game. And then of course we won the game at the second leg of the playoff, and it was a header from Don Hutchison. So we've no fear of England. I have no fear of England, and I'm sure the players won't have, and Steve Clarke won't have, because he knows English football like the back of his hand. So we can go down, I think, next week to Wembley with confidence. I would love to be in the camp there playing England at Wembley, because that is a real challenge for Scotland, and it's one that we always rise to, and I'm sure that we have a great chance against England.
Craig, thank you very much for your time. It's always great to hear your thoughts. Of course, the man, Craig Brown, who was in charge of Scotland the last time they beat England at Wembley, the last time they qualified for a major championships, and there he is. He's tipping Scotland to win it. Thanks for your time, Craig.
I am. Thank you.
Wow, fantastic, Keith. Craig, thank you very much indeed. Wonder what odds you could get on that. Scotland to win the Euros? You never know.